A phone conference. Wikileaks has been assisting Snowden's getaway. They're holding a phone conference that we're going to listen in on.
Mr. Snowden has submitted an asylum application to Ecuador and possibly to other countries. The Ecuadorian Foreign Minister, Petito, has said that the asylum application is being carefully considered. Mr. Snowden requested that Wikileaks use its legal expertise and experience to secure his safety. The current status of Mr. Snowden and Ms. Harrison both are healthy and safe. They're both are healthy and safe, and they are in contact with their legal team. I cannot give further information as to their whereabouts or present circumstances, other than to say that the matter is in hand. Today, we have seen a range of extreme bellicose statements from the US administration attempting to bully Russia and other nations from facilitating Mr. Snowden's asylum. Every person has the right to seek and receive political asylum. Those rights are enshrined in the United Nations Agreement, of which the United States is a party. It is counterproductive and unacceptable for the Obama administration to try and interfere with those rights. It reflects poorly on the US administration, and no self-respecting country would submit to such interference or such bullying by the US in this matter. This morning, the US Secretary of State called Edward Snowden traitor. However, this morning the US Secretary of State called Edward Snowden a traitor. Edward Snowden is not a traitor. He is not a spy. He is a whistleblower who has told the public an important truth. The US Secretary of State is wrong in law. In law, a traitor must adhere to US enemies, and there is also a requirement that the conduct is in congressionally approved wartime. Neither of these feature here. The US administration was not given a mandate. Sorry, let me repeat that. The Obama administration was not given a mandate by the people of the United States to hack and spy upon the entire world, to breach the US Constitution and the laws of other nations in the manner that it has. To now attempt to violate international asylum law by calling for the rendition of Edward Snowden further demonstrates the breakdown in the rule of law by the Obama administration, which has sadly become familiar to so many. Let us not forget that today, while Edward Snowden is seeking asylum, the young soldier Bradley Manning is on trial for telling us the truth. Edward Snowden and Bradley Manning, unfortunately, are not anomalies. Their prosecution is part of a pattern of misconduct, part of the Obama administration's war on whistleblowers. The use of the 1917 Espionage Act against journalistic sources by the Obama administration must be condemned. The Obama administration has now pursued 8 journalistic sources using the Espionage Act. That is more than twice of all previous presidents combined, stemming back to 1917. The Obama administration hopes to erect a new interpretation. A new interpretation of law which defines journalistic sources as spies. And that is not acceptable. If such a precedent is permitted, it will result in the complete destruction of national security journalism within the United States. And already serious national security journalists are speaking about how their government sources are too scared to reveal government misconduct in the national security sphere. That's an extremely serious matter. At the same time as the national security sector of the United States is increasing its share of the US tax burden, and at the same time where unprecedented levels of criminality and abuse are being uncovered, it seeks to weaken the press, which is the only effective mechanism of bringing it to account. In the Obama administration's attempt to crush these young whistleblowers with espionage charges, the US government is taking on a generation. A young generation of people who find the mass violation of the right of privacy and open process unacceptable. In taking on a generation, the Obama administration can only lose. Pursuing Edward Snowden and pursuing Bradley Manning is not the way to fix the weaknesses of law and process in the United States. The only way to fix these are to change the policies, to stop spying on the world, to eradicate secret law, to cease indefinite detention without trial, to stop the Obama administration's assassination program, to stop invading other countries and sending young Americans off to kill and be killed. It is these problems which are stimulating national security whistleblowers to come forward. The Obama administration doesn't want government sources to speak to the press. It should stop engaging in conduct which is so outrageous as to cause them to come forward. The charging of Edward Snowden is intended to not... Sorry, let me begin again. The charging of Edward Snowden is not a matter of justice. It is an attempt to intimidate any country that might be considering standing up for his right to tell us all the truth. Such behaviour must not be tolerated and will not be tolerated by any self-respecting nation or by the press at large. Everyone should tell their governments to step forward and assist Mr Snowden in his asylum, and the press also has an obligation to do so. That's it from me.